What is PL SQL? In Oracle Ease, that means the programming language / SQL SQL querying language. It is essentially a programming language pushed on top or overlaid onto the SQL declarative language inside the Oracle database. And essentially it does allow for modular programming on top of the declarative SQL. Modular allows you to create blocks and execute them from each other, and also basically pass information from one command to another. If this, do that, if that, do that, and so on and so forth. It gives you an execution path. SQL, on the other hand, is a special type of, if you like, scripting language. It can be called a scripting language. Scripting languages are languages such as Perl and all the shells inside Unix. When you're running stuff in an operating system, you're basically asking the computer a question and it's giving you a solid answer back in terms of what your question was. But your question is all wrapped up in a single command, a single expression. SQL is expression based. PL SQL wraps a programming language around that SQL capability. It's not that complicated. If you know anything about programming, you'll understand most of what I'm going to tell you here. If it's new, then you can find other texts and other courses on programming itself. So, SQL is a scripting language. As I said, PL SQL is more or less an enhanced version of SQL. A modular programming wrapped version of SQL, if you like. SQL wrapped inside a programming language. PL SQL is a programming language. It allows dependencies between commands. That's what I mean by you can pass information from one command to another. In SQL, you only have a single command expression that you send to the database. You pull the answer out as an expression. PL SQL allows you to do one thing after another in a sequence of events and create dependencies that go on different paths depending on the answers from the previous question. So you essentially have a flow of questions and answers. That is essentially the difference between SQL, a declarative language, and a modular programming language. Modular programming languages have other names as well. We won't go into the details of those. It's all really esoteric and not really necessary to throw words and names at you, because really what we're trying to learn is Oracle PL SQL. We're not trying to learn programming theory. And as I said, PL SQL has a modular structure, which means it has little boxes where you execute things and you get answers out of them and pass them to other little boxes. And you can pass to different boxes depending on the result from the previous box. Kind of a little bit getting into the process of actually passing things into black boxed objects like you do with object programming. It's not quite the same because there are dependencies between the different module boxes, if you like, in modular programming. Although there is extensive object capability in PL SQL, we won't go into that because that's far too advanced, and that essentially to cover PL SQL in all its glory and its detail would probably require an entire 8-hour course. So what we're going to do is we're basically going to cover the essentials of PL SQL, show you what it is and what it can do and what you can do with it. So let's get cracking with PL SQL. This topic will be continued in the next movie.